Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about the Club World Cup quarterfinals. We've got 2 days until these matches kick off. We actually have today as a break and tomorrow as a break. I don't know about you guys. Even though this is being held in America, my sleep cycle, I usually go to bed recently at like 10, 11. I've been staying up watching these games. The Dortmund-Monterrey game literally came down to the wire. That was my upset pick, and I failed. I got a couple predictions wrong in the round of 16. I said Inter Milan was going to win. They did not win. Fluminense upset them. I said Man City was going to win. I said it would be 2-1 Man City, and Al Hilal cooked them 4-3. I did say Botafogo was going to beat Palmeiras. That was close extra time, and I did say it was going to be in penalties, but they lost. I had Chelsea winning, had PSG winning by a lot. I think it was less than I expected. I had Bayern winning, I had Real Madrid winning, and I had Monterrey winning. So I didn't really do that well with how I usually do. I was close. I wasn't too off on stuff. So take my predictions at, very low value. But hopefully you guys are doing well. I really appreciate all the support. We had like 60,000 views on the Man City video. It was a crazy game. I understand that. And just so you guys know, we're posting these on Spotify as well. Dude, I love this, man. I love talking about the games with you guys. I can't wait till the season ahead. Oh, my goodness. And then the World Cup, dude. We're going to be having like so many videos going up with that World Cup. I cannot wait. It's in this country as well. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully America and FIFA doesn't sell. I feel like this tournament has definitely exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect much from this tournament. I didn't expect myself to watch many of these games, and I've been watching a good amount of them. I've kind of surprised myself in that regard. So hopefully it continues. We've got a couple quarterfinals that are actually very, very interesting. The most interesting quarterfinal, guys, and it's the one that I'm going to preview first. Actually, we should probably be smart here and go in the order that these matches are happening, right? Because we've got some on July 4th and then some on July 5th. So let's start off with this matchup, right? Fluminense versus Al Hilal. I think Fluminense has been the second strongest Brazilian side in this tournament. I know you're going to say, well, how are they not the first? They beat Inter. I thought Flamengo was the strongest team. They actually outpossessed Bayern Munich, and the game was pretty close. Bayern won 4-2, and Bayern has probably been Bayern's been a top 3 side in this tournament for me. It was really going into the knockouts. It was PSG, Bayern, and Man City. Man City is out, so it shows you it could happen to anybody. But Fluminense looked really good. They took down a really strong Inter Milan squad. And Inter Milan, I watched the game, guys. Inter Milan really didn't have that many solid chances. I mean, they got a little unlucky. Lautaro had a shot or two that probably could have gone. And when we look at this matchup, Al Hilal have played some surprising, amazing football in this tournament. Like, I thought the way they built out, the way they were combining, and the leadership they have in this team between Milicevic, who's just out there looking like he's doing FIFA skills, man. Everything looks easy to him out there. It's so impressive to watch Milicevic play football. I really like this Al Hilal side. When you take a look at the Fluminense side, they have only conceded one game this tournament, guys, just so you guys know. They've only conceded in one game. They've held 3 out of 4 clean sheets. They are just a very, very strong and organized defensive unit. Thank you to Thiago Silva. But all jokes aside, guys, this team knows how to defend. And I think this will be a grueling matchup between these two sides. I don't think Fluminense is going to always give you too many goals. Am I crazy? I think Al Hilal is going to win this game. I'm really sold on Al Hilal. Now, the bookies have this really even, guys. This is probably as even as a game gets in terms of what the betting odds are saying. So it looks like they just can't predict one side. I'm going to go with Al Hilal. I've watched Al Hilal play many times this tournament now. Pretty much every single game I think I've seen. I missed one Fluminense game, one of them, which was actually the one that they won 4-2. And while I think Fluminense is lockdown defense, going to be really hard to beat, I just feel like Al Hilal are playing a really impressive brand of football right now. Like, watching the way, again, as I said, Ruben Neves and Milicevic are playing. Leonardo's really scrappy. And then out wide, they have this wing play that's very creative. And I trust their defense. I do. I trust their defense. And I thought the way that they played against Man City, that game to me felt like a Champions League level game. And I was like, damn, this is Al Hilal, And the Saudi people will tell you that, like, Al Ittihad is the team, I believe, that just won the league last season. I think. I'm not 100%, but I think they won. So it's just, it's impressive to see this team. I think Al Hilal is also missing a few players as well. But the product of football they're playing, and don't get me started, right? Let's talk about their goalkeeper, all right? Bono, all right? This guy's the best keeper in the tournament. Bro is Superman. All right, outside of Di Gregorio's performance for Juventus yesterday, which we didn't really talk about the games yesterday because I just didn't feel like they were anything too crazy. Outside of the Dortmund game was pretty good. I just think, man, I trust this team. I trust this team to go to the next round. So I'm going to say 2-1. I think Al Hilal will win 2-1. It's going to be surprising for me to see Al Hilal score more than 2 goals, considering Fluminense have 3 clean sheets, and they haven't conceded more than 2 goals in the other game that they did concede. So my first quarterfinalist, guys, in this tournament, my first semifinalist from the quarterfinals is going to be Al Hilal. I just think they're going to be too good overall through the 90 minutes. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overrating them. But let me tell you this. Man City was a top 3 team in this tournament for me. Now that they're out, I got to take this Al Hilal team really seriously. This is an Al Hilal team that dominated Real Madrid in the second half. This is a team that now went the distance with Man City and were tested being down early, came back, we're there to win that game. So I was very impressed, guys. My stock on this team is very high. I can understand why the bookies don't have a favorite in that game. We look at the next quarterfinal. It's Palmeiras versus Chelsea. Palmeiras have been pretty impressive in this tournament outside of the one game at Inter Miami, but they did avoid disaster, and they pulled off a really nice comeback in that game. Again, another Brazilian side, so when we analyze these games, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Now, what is interesting is that Chelsea actually just signed Joao Pedro. You guys probably heard that already. And he's actually going to fly over to the U.S. and play on his team, I guess. I don't know if he's going to get any run time, but apparently, yeah, he's probably just going to train with the team, but imagine we see some Joao Pedro. We're getting to the stages, though, of the Club World Cup where, I think these managers are like, okay, wait a second. Every round we advance, we're starting to get paydays. I think the last round last round to this round was $7.5 million or $5 million or $10 million, $15 million, something like that. So now as we keep going, it's going to start to be like 15, 20, 30 for the next round. So I think, we're going to see these sides really going hard now. They've made it to the last 8. There was a part of me that was looking at this game being like, damn, I kind of feel like Palmeiras could get something out of this game. But I just feel like from the Brazilian sides that I've seen, from the last game against Botafogo, who Botafogo is not an easy team to beat, they did defeat them. I feel like Chelsea's going to win this game. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to make the upset pick and say that Chelsea's not going to win, but I think Chelsea's going to win. I've tried to go through it in my head a couple times and be like, do I see a way where Palmeiras can get this done? I could, but I don't feel confident about it, and I don't feel confident enough to sit here and make a pick saying that they're going to beat Chelsea. So I'm going to go with Chelsea, guys. I think Chelsea will do this one. Chelsea have been scoring a lot of goals at this tournament. I don't think Palmeiras is a team that they're going to get a ton of goals against. I think I will give Palmeiras 1 goal. I think Palmeiras will score in this game. I expect Chelsea to win 2-1 as well. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I'm not going to go anything crazy. Now looking back on this tournament to see how Porto did, to see really Inter Miami against PSG, and how bad Inter Miami were. I think Inter Miami played the game of their life against Palmeiras, and it was good that Palmeiras still pulled it back, but I don't expect Palmeiras to beat Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to be a whole other level of a side, and Chelsea's got some players, man, that, we've been watching this tournament. They've been playing really well. Like the performances, like seeing how Caicedo has been playing in this tournament. When you got a guy like that, when you got your fullbacks on Chelsea playing like that, especially Reece James getting back to it like that, you got Neto finishing goals. It's what you want to see. So this is the game of the knockouts, right? This is the game of the last 8, guys, that you want to have all your attention on. And I'm going to be honest, guys, this is the game that I'm struggling with predictions. I'm really, really struggling. PSG and Bayern, guys, it's kind of been, a rivalry that has gone in Bayern Munich's favor a lot of the time. Bayern Munich in the Champions League, it's like these teams always play. They played in a Champions League final. Bayern Munich, guys, let me give you this statistic. Since December 5th, 2017, Bayern Munich have won. Are you ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 8 times they have beat PSG. Now, those PSG teams were nothing like the team we have now, but if you even go back to November, Bayern Munich beat this insane PSG team, the one that just won the European Championship, 1-0. So this is the toughest game for me to predict in this whole tournament, and I also watched this game, Bayern versus Flamengo, and I just watched the Bayern side that are getting so much out of having Olise in this team, so much out of picking up another center back, that I sit here and wonder that if Bayern Munich, I know that they did start Gnabry Cam. If Bayern Munich go out there and they get a healthy Jamal Musiala starting, it's even wondering, we always talk, I'm saying, if Bayern Munich eventually get another winger in this summer transfer window for the next season, this team is starting to look like stock up, unstoppable top 3 next season, because I'm watching the performances from Konrad Laimer. He's really coming into his own. We're getting a little rejuvenated Goretzka. Maybe he, started doing the PEDs again, the steroids, because he was doing it a couple years ago. And Kimmich, man, I tweeted the other day. When have we ever seen Kimmich just not screaming, bro? Like, Neuer made a save the other day, and Kimmich is like, ah. So, look, this Bayern Munich team, for PSG's side of things, I'm going to be real, guys. I don't think PSG have played an impressive tournament. I think they've been good. I don't think they've been insane. We saw in the last game that they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. Say what you want to say. We heard that Enrique was saying that at halftime we want to take it easy. We're up 4-0. We don't want to get injured. But I will say, from watching PSG in this tournament, I watched the game against the Sounders. I watched the Botafogo game, and I did. Atletico Madrid was the best game PSG played in this tournament. It was the best game. They just won a Champions League final 5-0. The question for me, right, is that we got to see off the bench Dembele. We got to see Dembele come off the bench. He's been starting, Enrique's been starting Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, and Dewey. I'm a little worried that PSG could actually lose this game. I'm really struggling to sit here and make a prediction. Like, this is a game that I think actually has the chance to go to penalties. I don't even want to make a prediction. I don't know if that makes me like soft because I don't want to make a prediction. I don't know who's going to win this game. What are the bookies saying? The bookies have it plus 120 in 90 minutes, which is like, I think it's $100 you get 120 back. Bayern Munich, if you bet 100, you get 210 back. So they do have PSG favored in this game, but it's pretty close. It's actually it's the closest game in terms of betting odds that we have out of the knockouts. I don't really want to make a prediction. I don't know who's going to win this game. I think either team could win this game. I actually feel like Bayern Munich have been playing a better tournament. I know they lost to Benfica. They both had these 1-0 losses that they had. But I do have a lot of confidence with Bayern Munich, and it's so much confidence that I don't feel good about sitting here saying that PSG is going to win this game. So I'm going to say this game is going to be 2-2, and we're going to go to penalties. And I don't know who's going to win in penalties, but that's going to be my prediction for this game. The only reason I'm not picking Bayern Munich to win this game is the greatness of Vitinha, João Neves, and Fabian. This midfield, I just feel like I've been worried about PSG in the attack this tournament. I feel like they haven't been as clinical as we were watching at the end of the European season, where we saw this deadly attacking ability from the front three. And they haven't. Kvaratskhelia has not been super clinical. Barcola is definitely not clinical. He doesn't know how to score that well. I mean, maybe we'll see a change at some point. Dewey, we got to see a little more out of it. It feels like they've already accomplished what they've accomplished in Europe. I think Bayern want to prove a little bit more this tournament, and they seem a little hungrier. And I'm getting lost in Olise's eyes because this guy is some footballer, man, to watch him play. Harry Kane scored 2 incredible long shots last game. He looks like he's on good form. He is going to struggle a little bit more in this game. He's going to be facing off against, Pacho, who's going to be a tough test. But, guys, I think this one goes penalties. I think this one is way closer than anyone thinks. I think PSG are playing good football in this tournament. I think Bayern Munich are playing great from the games that I've watched. Maybe you disagree with my analysis. That's okay. And in terms of this game, Real Madrid, Dortmund, guys, this is our last quarterfinal here. What are my thoughts on this game? Real Madrid absolutely torched Juventus, who should be ashamed of themselves yesterday. The game was boring as hell because Juventus decided to put 11 players in their box. I never want to watch that football again. I tweeted it yesterday. Juventus should be absolutely ashamed of themselves for the way they played yesterday. Not to mention, yes, I understand a game plan is a game plan. And, before you start hating on me, this is what I'm getting into. Okay, you're in minute 80. You're still losing 1-0, and you have the same shape you had the first 80 minutes. It's one thing to understand that you are the less superior team and to soak up the pressure. But you can see 1-0, and you don't even make a chance. You don't even make a change. You got that man Kolo Muani stranded on an island, 1v5 all game, working his ass off. Yeah, Conceição gets a chance or two. You sub off Yildiz in a 60, who you always sub off. But if you always do it, you're not always losing 1-0. Keep the guy in. He's the only dude creating anything off of Kolo Muani. So the tactics, Juve got it wrong yesterday. And Juve better kiss their goalkeeper for the rest of his life. Because that guy, Di Gregorio, he made, oh my God, he might have saved a bicycle kick. Valverde volley. I can't even speak right now. He was going crazy. So Real Madrid, I'm not getting too reactionary yesterday. Any team that plays against a low block is going to struggle a little bit. It's what it is. They get the job done. Dortmund, however, man, Guirassy, man. I tried to tell people last year, I was on this channel, I was on my live stream, I said, how are people not signing Guirassy for 20 mil? Arsenal should have signed this guy. He's a baller. He could have had 4 last night. He had 2 goals. The dude is crazy. He's such a good 9. I don't know how this guy went for the price he went, especially after that season he had at Stuttgart. He's going into his second year now at Dortmund, and I think he's going to have a crazy year. He had a good year in the first year. Wasn't anything crazy for his standards. He's going to go crazy this year. And then this kid Garcia on Real Madrid is incredible. Real Madrid got to ask themselves some questions because I'm going to be objective here. Watching the game yesterday, all right, Vinny Jr., man, I'm not just hating to hate. He had a great season. He didn't win the Ballon d'Or. He's not been the same since, okay? I was watching the game. The amount of times this guy loses the ball instead of connecting passes or making positive impact, it's concerning, right? It's concerning. And you watch this Garcia kid and you see how good he is. Mbappe is still, Mbappe had a great season, but he's not a 9. He should be out on the left. So you have to wonder with Real Madrid, Rodrigo has not played, some of this stuff behind the scenes going to impact what's going on with these results. I do respect Xabi Alonso, though, at the end of the day for making these decisions. Just starting Garcia. He's playing well. He likes him. He's not playing Rodrigo. I felt like Ancelotti fell a little victim into all this where he kind of sacrificed not playing Arda Güler as much to play these superstars with these transfer values. I like what Xabi Alonso's doing. He's asserting his dominance. But we have to ask that question. I'm being dead ass, man, because I want to see Mbappe on the left. I don't want this to continue for the next season or two. I asked this to my viewers yesterday. I said, look, if Al Hilal or one of these teams offers Vinny Jr. like 150 mil, do you just take it? Is Rodrigo going to go somewhere else, or is he just too expensive? What's going to happen there? Anyways, let's objectively talk about the football, guys. Real Madrid have looked good, and they've been better and better every single game they've played this tournament. I don't see them going out to Dortmund. I thought Dortmund was one of the weakest teams in the knockout. They did pretty well against Monterrey. I thought Monterrey was going to win, but I do think Real Madrid is going to win this game. And I think with the style that Dortmund play, Dortmund are used to, this is the one thing that makes me a little unsettled about putting that prediction out. Dortmund just play better against good teams, man. Dortmund go out and like knockouts in Champions League and stuff where you don't expect it. They're like 8th in the league and they'll go crazy. So, this could be an upset. The bookies don't think so. The odds don't think so. I think Real Madrid will win this game. I think they'll win 2-0. I think they'll win 2-0. I don't know. I think I see 2-0. Now, Dortmund plays super attacking, so for Dortmund to get shut out, that's going to be quite rare. But I think Real Madrid will get it done. I think Xabi Ball will get it done. 2-0 or 3-1. Let's go 2-0. So what are my semifinals going to be? It's going to be Al Hilal versus Chelsea. I might pick Al Hilal to go to the final, depending if they play well against Fluminense. And it's going to be, we got penalties in a top game. So PSG or Bayern versus Real Madrid, guys. Let me know your predictions, guys. I think these quarterfinals are going to be very, very good. I'm very excited. Hopefully you guys like the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.